Well, good morning. Do we have any visitors this morning? No visitors or no courage? No visitors? I don't believe that. There's somebody here. Well, anyway, there's some there. Where from? St. Sebastian's. Is that some exotic Caribbean island? No, I guess not. Arizona, okay. I can't hear you. Lancaster, okay. The Outer Banks, okay. St. Malachy's. You're really on the wrong side of town. Well, welcome. Anybody else? Where from? St. Raphael's, okay. Very good. Well, welcome to all of you who are here today. And as we go through our year here today, we're into graduation week. All right? People are graduating from college and from high school and grade school, and last week from preschool. So there's graduations from everywhere, and today's readings are particularly applicable to that change and that transition in life. In the first reading today, we find Moses speaking to the people before they enter the promised land, because he wasn't going with them, as you remember. He was banned from the promised land. And so he was kind of giving them his final instructions and warning them about decisions that they would make. And in the gospel today, Jesus does the same thing. He tells us that our decisions have ramifications. What we decide to do affects not only us, but others. And he uses an architectural model. He says if you build your house on loose soil, on sand, it'll stand there for a while and it might even look pretty. But as soon as the stress comes, as soon as the winds come, as soon as the rains come, it's going to disintegrate before your very eyes. I always think of this scripture when you see those pictures from California, and the mudslides and the houses, these multi-million-dollar houses sliding down into the ocean. You kind of scratch your head and say, why did you build there to begin with? So we have to make decisions. All of us have to make decisions. And the decisions we make could determine how we live, not only here, but in eternity. And so today, this is not rocket science, what Jesus is talking about today. This is simple, everyday life. We have choices to make. And we're not talking about big, lofty choices that will alter the vision of the world. Jesus is talking about the small decisions which are made every day. A decision to do good or not to do good. That alters someone else's life. A decision to be pleasant or not to be pleasant. Because especially in church, if people come to church and they find other fellow Catholics here who are crabby, who are insistent on their own space. Don't ask me to move from this space on my pew. If they find us, unpleasant, they're probably not coming back. And so that decision on your part or my part to be unpleasant could change someone else's life. It could change their relationship to God. When you leave church every Sunday, people know where you're coming from. Do you realize that? All those cars coming out of Vitulo Drive, they're not coming from the Kmart. they're coming from the church. And so people sit there and watch and say, there go those Catholics. And the question is, are you evangelizing as you leave? What are they seeing? The joy of your faces that I see right now? What are they seeing? Pleasantness, compassion, understanding, concern for the other? Sure, come right through. What are they seeing? That's a choice that you make every day. What about your life at work? People know you're Catholic. At least they should. How do you act? Are you different than others? Do you show compassion? Do you include everyone, or do you kind of move right into the conversations that denigrate those who are a little different, or those who maybe aren't as bright? What Jesus talks about today in the gospel is about our life, and the fact that our life and the way we live it affects the salvation of other people. If they find in you Christ's love, without ever mentioning his name, if they find in you Christ's compassion, if they find in you God's love, you've become a Bible which they've just read. Choices that we must make. Now, there are choices of life, too. You know, if we're going to, for instance, base our career choice on how much money we can make, we will be disappointed. And you'll be disappointed because it will never be enough. If that's our God, we can make money and money and money and money, but it's never enough, is it? We always want more. See? We always want more. But however, if we refocus our decision making and say, in my career, how can I support myself and my family, and at the same time be environmentally aware, take care of other people, and bring other people along with me, then money doesn't become my God. Goodness. So as you and I pray today, this message is so simple that we miss it. What decisions do you have to make right now? And there are decisions that we have to make that are little ones, and there are decisions that we have to make that are big ones. But if they're not based in God, if they're not based on God's principles, then those decisions will disappoint us. We build our house on the sand instead of on the rock of God, and in building it on the sand, it will collapse. So as you and I pray today, as you and I think about this very simple message of Christ, do as Moses asked the people of Israel. Obey the commandments and be aware of false gods. And if you do that, your decisions will not be based on sand, but on rock. And the building which you build, your life, will stand solid, not only in this life, but in the life to come. Choices. They're all around us. Let's make the right ones based on God's teachings. Be at peace.